Alright, today we're going to look at using shapes in Illustrator and in Photoshop to create a Picaba type shape image. And Picaba was a data artist at the same time as the Duchamps that we looked at, and mainly he worked with another artist that you might be familiar with whose name is Man Ray. And here are some of Picaba shapes pieces, and some of them are kind of ridiculous, but here is a shape collage that uses paintbrushes and paint tubes. So many of his things weren't all of that unusual, but some of them were, and I think this was kind of a first of its kind, that it's almost resembles what Picasso was doing in Cubism, where he actually glued pieces of tablecloths and things to his pieces. So you can see that happening with the previous piece with the paint, and this piece has nails, matchsticks, that type of things to create a shape. And he's also known for doing pieces like this, that where he took and built mechanical like shape objects. Here's one that you can see closer with the matchsticks. All the hair was matchsticks. This looks like a bobby pin. So ordinary everyday objects and put them into works of art. And then you might look at this shape design that you see ordinary shapes. So we can take this into Illustrator and Photoshop here and start to play with shapes. And I want you to open up a new Illustrator document. And for this experiment, I'm not particular what size you make it, because we'll take it over and make it print size when we're ready. And we're going to open up a couple different things to play with. And one of them is pattern styles, and in order to get these things open on your board, you're going to have to go to Window and look for them. So if we go down to Graphic Style Library, and that's what this is over here, you're going to open that up and click, and you can see you can start with different things. Right now I have Monster pattern styles open, but once one of them's open, then you can try all these different styles, and that'll allow you to put textures and colors other than just a solid color on any shape that you make. And the other one that I want you to have open in your library is to come over here to Pattern, and here's your vector pattern pack. Let's see, Window, Graphic Styles, Swatch Libraries. Here's swatches, excuse me. So here's patterns, different swatches, different patterns that you can have available. So with a pattern, if you get the vector pattern pack, here's your library. Anything that you decide that you want to use, all you have to do to get it onto your screen, if you're playing with shapes, is just pull it over, and then you can use this tool to resize it. So you can use ordinary shapes like this to build your Picaba-like picture, or then we can also do some of these things. That here is your shape tool, similar to Photoshop, and it'll let you do stars and flares and ellipses. And here's the star. Once it is out there, you can change the pattern that's in it by clicking over here on the effect library, or you can play with some of these things here, which I think are fairly interesting to do that. And so that's all under the shapes that you can draw here to do your picture with. You can play with your shapes once you have them here. Here is a warp tool, so you can come and start to warp your shape and make it a totally new shape as well. And every time that you put something over there, so that you're working with one shape at a time, I want you to have your layers open just like in Photoshop. And then once you've got a layer that you really like and you don't want to just cut, then, and I like the sun, but not necessarily the pants. So I'm going to do the pants away with it. And I'm going to move it, maybe it could be an eye or a nose or something like that. And if I've played with it all that I wanted to play with, then I can come over here and click here, which locks the layer down, and click a new layer so that each one of these shapes that you put on here are separate and won't change once they're there. That if you want to change it, then I can be on that layer and I can do other things to it. So right now I just scalloped it. I can wrinkle it. So I can change that shape and play with it. And if I don't like it, I can just cut it and try again. So all those are open there, but that's not just the end. There's a couple other cool things here too. And this is the spray tool. So say you want a whole bunch of a shape, like the pants maybe become the shape of a person's face. You can spray that out there into the layer. Make sure that it's exactly what you want to be spraying. If you want them all to be that color, I think you can change the color and change the pattern with them just like the other things. Maybe you have to do that one at a time, but you can play with that. So don't forget to lock the layer when you've got something you want. And again, your goal is going to be to create a Picaba-like picture. And then we have Photoshop open at the same time. Whoops, Photoshop. And remember, the shape tool is right here. There's the rectangle custom shapes. We also can bring those in and use those as well. So say I want to do a light bulb. And I've made that light bulb. And if I want to use that in Illustrator, then all I'm going to do is go to Edit, and that layer is clicked, and copy, and then go back to my Illustrator, and on a new layer here, I'll lock that one, just be locked, and paste, and there it is. It doesn't have to be in black. Now I can see what that one is. Please select a symbol for a symbol set. Go back and select it. Maybe that's what I needed to do, because a minute ago I got, maybe that's not a good one. Edit cut. Let's try a different one. A minute ago I got all kinds of ones to come in with color. Let's get rid of that one. Layer, symbol, custom shape. Let's try butterfly. That's a pretty simple shape. It's got dots around the outside. I ought to be able to color it. So I'm going to copy it. Just plain copy. And Illustrator, come in and paste. Paste is the compound shape. And then now that one worked. I can come in and have these different colors, resize it, use it as my shape wherever I want it to be. If I want an outline around it, I have no outline right now. I can add a color outline. I can change the points of the stroke to be a bigger stroke. And so since we're dealing with shapes, I want you to make the whole piece that you make today using either shapes, patterns, some of these texture effects, and play with these in both Illustrator and Photoshop to make your Picaba-like piece. All right, have fun.